The corridor stretched endlessly, golden light flickering over marble floors polished to mirrors. Amara whispered, "Just deliver the files and leave." Her voice trembled though she tried to sound strong. She held the folder tight, her knuckles pale against mahogany skin. Her heels echoed like a countdown, each step quickening her pulse. She pushed the door open without thinking, breath shallow, expecting emptiness. Instead, Marcus stood inside, tall, broad espresso skin, glowing faint under warm lamplight. His shirt collar hung loose. Authority softened but not broken. Amara froze, air caught in her throat. She stammered, "I'm sorry, wrong room." Marcus's eyes, sharp and piercing, locked on her with heat. His deep voice rolled like thunder. "You're not supposed to be here." She tried stepping back, but her legs betrayed her. The folder nearly slipped as her palms dampened. The silence weighed heavier than words. Marcus moved closer, deliberate, his presence commanding. Amara's heart raced as if the room itself had trapped her, leaving only him between her fear and desire. Amara's voice cracked as she whispered, "I thought this was the conference room." The lie wavered in her throat. Marcus tilted his head, gaze burning. He said, "You don't think before intruding?" His tone was sharp, but tinged with intrigue. She swallowed hard, the folder trembling like her pulse. Her body urged her to flee, yet pride rooted her feet. She whispered, "I didn't mean to." Marcus stepped closer, deliberate, a predator testing distance. The hum of city lights filled the silence, amplifying the ache between them. His stare held hers too long, heat seeping into her skin. Amara's breath grew shallow, chest tight, as if trapped in invisible chains. The air smelled faintly of whiskey and leather, masculine power embedded in the room. Amara tried to steady herself. "I'll leave." Marcus replied, "Too late, you've already seen too much." Her gaze flickered toward papers scattered across the table. Marcus's eyes caught hers, warning sharp. He said, "Curiosity is dangerous." She stammered, "I wasn't," but her voice cracked under his shadow. His steps grew louder as he advanced. Amara's back stiffened, heart racing. She whispered, "Why are you like this?" Marcus's silence was heavier than accusation. Their eyes locked, storms colliding, neither yielding. Amara pressed against the wall, whispering, "You scare me." Marcus's jaw flexed, eyes briefly soft before sharpening. He said, "Fear keeps people from crossing me." Her chest rose rapidly, lips trembling. His shadows stretched across her as he leaned closer. His breath brushed her ear when he whispered, "You don't belong here." Tears stung but defiance sparked. She said, "Maybe I never belonged anywhere." His eyes flickered with pain before hardening again. Silence pressed in, louder than any words, binding them in a fragile storm of fear and desire. Marcus's phone buzzed on the table, slicing the silence. He stiffened, mask cracking for a heartbeat. Amara slid sideways, fingers brushing the door handle. Hope surged, but his voice cut sharp. "Stay." Not a plea, a command. Her breath faltered, body rigid. She turned, eyes blazing. "You don't own me." Marcus's lips curled into a dangerous smile. He said, "Not yet." The words burned through her like fire pressed to glass. She trembled, torn between fight and surrender, knowing this encounter was only the beginning of something irreversible. Morning sunlight slipped through Amara's blinds, yet her body still carried the weight of last night. She sat on the edge of her bed, clutching her knees, replaying Marcus's words. She whispered, "Not yet." What did he mean? Her chest burned with confusion, her dignity wrestling against the strange electricity he left behind. Her phone buzzed. An email reminder about the meeting later. Her heart stuttered at the thought of seeing him again. She muttered, "I can't let him see fear." Her best friend Lila's voice echoed in her head, reminding her, "Don't let any man shake your ground." But Marcus wasn't any man. His presence lingered in her veins like fire, refusing to fade. Amara rose, smoothing her blouse, painting her lips in quiet defiance. She whispered to her reflection, "He won't see me break." The office hummed with low chatter, keys clacking, and phones ringing. Amara walked through the glass doors, head high, though nerves twisted inside. She whispered to herself, "Act normal." Marcus's voice cut the air as he stood in the hallway, speaking to executives. His espresso skin glowed beneath fluorescent lights, suit perfectly tailored. His gaze briefly met hers, freezing her mid-step. He didn't smile, didn't frown, but his eyes lingered long enough to make her knees soften. Amara's colleague whispered, "Girl, the boss looked at you." She forced a laugh, dismissing it, though her pulse betrayed her. She hurried to her desk, pressing the folder down as if anchoring herself. Marcus's voice carried through the glass, commanding, magnetic, reminding her of the storm still brewing between them. At lunch, Amara sat with her friend Lila, pushing salad around her plate. Lila raised a brow and said, "You're distracted. Spill." Amara muttered, "It's nothing." But Lila's sharp eyes didn't budge. "Don't lie to me, Amara." Amara finally whispered, "I walked into the wrong room last night. It was Marcus." Lila choked on her drink. "Your boss?" Amara nodded, face hot. Lila laughed, shaking her head. "Girl, this is trouble dressed in a suit." Amara sighed. "He told me I don't belong there." Lila's tone softened. "Maybe he's testing you, or maybe he's dangerous. Don't let him get inside your head." Amara clenched her fork, muttering, "It's already too late." Later that day, Amara gathered courage to knock on Marcus's office door. Her palm dampened against the polished wood. She whispered, "Stay calm." His deep voice called, "Enter." She pushed inside, heart racing. Marcus sat behind his mahogany desk, sleeves rolled up, veins visible on his forearms. His eyes met hers with quiet fire. Amara steadied her voice. "I came to deliver the report." Marcus leaned back, gaze unwavering. "That's all?" His tone hinted at something more. She nodded, placing the folder before him. Their hands brushed briefly, heat shooting through her veins. Marcus's jaw clenched as he said, "Be careful where you wander, Amara." Her throat tightened. She whispered, "I didn't choose to wander." The silence after carried more danger than his words. The evening air was cooler when Amara stepped outside the office building, her heels clicking against pavement. She exhaled sharply, but the echo of his words still pulsed. "Be careful where you wander." She pulled her blazer tight, whispering, "He thinks he owns the ground I walk on." A black car pulled up to the curb, tinted windows rolling down. Marcus sat inside, expression unreadable, eyes glinting under city lights. His voice carried through the open window, smooth yet commanding, "Get in. We need to talk." Amara froze, torn between fear and defiance. Her pride screamed no, but her curiosity, her fire, whispered yes. The night around them seemed to hold its breath, waiting for her choice. Amara hesitated by the sleek car door, city lights reflecting across her tense face. Her heart pounded as Marcus leaned forward from the back seat, voice low and commanding. "Do you trust me enough to step inside?" His question cut like glass. Amara swallowed hard, whispering, "Trust isn't what you inspire." Marcus smirked faintly, but his eyes revealed something darker. "Then call it curiosity." Against her better judgment, she opened the door and slid into the leather interior. The scent of him, spice and cedar, wrapped around her senses, igniting unwelcome heat. He studied her as if peeling back her layers. She whispered, "Why me?" Marcus's voice was steady, almost dangerous. "Because you don't bow like the rest." The car pulled forward, city fading into night. Amara clutched her bag, fighting her trembling hands, realizing every mile dragged her deeper into his orbit. The car stopped before a high-rise building with mirrored glass towering over the city. Amara stepped out, her heels clicking against wet pavement. She muttered, This is insane. Marcus guided her inside, his hand hovering near her back without touching. The lobby glowed with golden marble and hushed whispers, power lingering in every detail. Marcus's presence beside her drew curious stares. She whispered, "People are watching." He smirked, "Let them. They already know who I am." The elevator doors slid open with a soft chime, swallowing them whole. Inside, silence pressed heavy. Amara's reflection met Marcus's in the mirrored walls, her anxious eyes clashing with his calm intensity. She whispered, "Why bring me here?" His reply came smooth, final. "Because some storms must be faced in private." The penthouse was vast, walls of glass revealing the city glittering below. Amara stepped inside, whispering, "This isn't where I belong." Marcus closed the door, his shadow stretching long across the hardwood. "It is tonight," he replied. She spun toward him, eyes flashing. "You think you can control me?" Marcus's gaze darkened. "No, Amara. I can't control you. That's the problem." Her breath hitched, heat rising. He approached slowly, each step deliberate. She whispered, "You terrify me." His voice dropped lower, roughened. "Good. Fear means you feel me." Their silence cracked with unspoken desire, a war neither could win. Amara moved toward the window, the skyline a sea of diamonds beneath stormy clouds. Her voice broke. "You think power can excuse everything?" Marcus followed, his presence burning behind her. "Power excuses nothing. It exposes everything." She turned sharply, fire flashing in her eyes. "Then what are you exposing, Marcus?" His jaw tightened, eyes flickering with a truth he refused to speak. He whispered, "That I see you." Her breath faltered at the confession. For a heartbeat, the room pulsed with dangerous vulnerability. She whispered, "Seeing me doesn't mean you know me." His smile was faint, heavy. "Not yet." Lightning flashed beyond the windows, illuminating the tension strung tight between them. Amara whispered, "Why me?" Marcus's answer came low, almost broken. "Because you fight me, and I need someone who doesn't kneel." Her chest rose sharply, torn between fury and fire. She snapped, "I don't exist to fill your needs." His lips curved faintly, dangerously. "Maybe you exist to remind me I'm human." The words unsettled her more than his threats. Amara backed toward the door, whispering, "I shouldn't be here." Marcus's voice followed like a chain. "But you are." Thunder rolled as she froze, knowing leaving was harder than staying. The storm outside mirrored the storm within. Amara stood rigid by the glass wall, but Marcus's voice broke the silence. "You think you know me, Amara?" His tone was sharp, almost daring. She turned slowly, eyes narrowing. "I know enough to stay away." He smirked, though it didn't reach his eyes. "Then you know nothing." He moved closer, shoulders tense, gaze shadowed by something heavier. She whispered, "Then tell me." His jaw worked, as if holding back words that might shatter them both. He finally said, "My past doesn't forgive me, and it won't forgive you either if you stay near me." Amara's chest tightened as his confession hung in the air. Amara's voice cracked. "What are you hiding, Marcus?" His gaze dropped to the floor for a fleeting second, then rose again, darker than before. "I wasn't always the man you see. There are debts, enemies, scars that follow me like shadows." Amara's breath caught. "Enemies?" He nodded once, sharp, final. "Some of them are closer than you think." Her pulse roared in her ears. "Why drag me into this?" Marcus stepped closer, voice low, almost pained. "Because you walked through that door, and now they'll see you as mine." The words fell heavy, chains disguised as truth. The sharp buzz of Marcus's phone shattered the tension. He glanced at the screen, his face tightening. Amara caught the flash of a name, someone she didn't recognize. Her voice wavered. "Who is it?" Marcus's silence was answer enough. She pressed, "Tell me." His jaw clenched before he muttered, "Someone I should have left in the past." Amara whispered. An ex. His silence again burned louder than truth. Finally, he growled. It's not about love. It's about betrayal. Amara froze, realizing Marcus's secrets weren't just dangerous, they were lethal. Amara's voice trembled. You've been lying to me. Marcus stepped forward, shadows carving his features. I never lied. I just never told you everything. She swallowed hard, anger rising. Omission is still betrayal. His stare sharpened, but his voice softened. I didn't tell you because the truth would ruin you. She shook her head, tears stinging. You don't get to decide that. Marcus's hand reached out, hovering inches from her arm, trembling as if touching her would either save or destroy him. Silence suffocated the room. Thunder roared as Amara whispered, Who betrayed you, Marcus? His voice dropped to a whisper, raw. Someone who wears my blood. Her eyes widened. Family? He nodded, pain etched in every line of his face. My brother. Amara staggered back, the words slicing deeper than she expected. Marcus's stare held hers, dark and broken. He wants everything I built. And now, seeing you near me, he'll use you as his weapon. Amara's breath hitched. For the first time, she saw not just danger in Marcus, but vulnerability, wounds stitched into his soul. And it terrified her even more. Amara's chest heaved as she pressed her back against the wall, Marcus' confession echoing. Your brother, she whispered, voice trembling. Marcus nodded slowly, eyes storm dark. He'll destroy anyone tied to me. Amara's hands shook as she cried, Then why pull me into your fire? Marcus's jaw tightened, his voice sharp. Because I couldn't let you walk away. Amara's eyes burned with fury. You made that choice for me. Marcus stepped closer, pain bleeding into his voice. You're the only thing I can't control, Amara. The words cut, raw and vulnerable. Her voice broke. I don't want to be your weakness. Marcus's lips parted, but silence swallowed his response, the weight of truth hanging heavy between them. Amara stormed across the room, fists clenched, voice trembling with rage. You don't get to choose my danger. Marcus's eyes followed, fire flaring. I've lived in danger my entire life. You don't know what it means to bleed for survival. She spun back, eyes wet, fire crackling. I know betrayal. I know abandonment. Don't tell me I don't understand pain. Marcus froze, her words piercing deeper than his pride. His voice cracked for the first time. Then why do you still stand here, facing me when every part of you wants to run? Amara's answer shook the room. Because running from you feels worse than standing in your fire. Lightning cracked, thunder booming as Marcus slammed his hand against the wall beside Amara, trapping her. His voice roared, You don't know what you're asking for. Amara flinched, but didn't back down, eyes blazing. Then show me the truth, Marcus. Stop hiding. His breath was ragged, their faces inches apart. The truth will destroy us both. She whispered, steady and fierce. Then let it. The air between them burned with raw hunger and fear. Marcus's hands trembled as if torn between pushing her away and pulling her closer. Silence crackled until his whisper broke it. You make me weak. Her tears fell as she whispered back. And you make me strong. The storm outside mirrored the chaos inside. Amara shoved Marcus's chest hard, anger spilling. I'm not a pawn in your war. Marcus stumbled back, fury flashing. You think I want this war? I was born into it. Amara's chest rose sharply, eyes blazing. And you'd drag me down with you. His fists clenched, veins straining. I'm trying to protect you. She snapped, You're trying to own me. His body stiffened as if struck. The silence that followed was unbearable. Amara's breath shook as she whispered, Love isn't chains, Marcus. His voice broke on her name, softer than thunder. Amara. Thunder rolled as Marcus finally broke. He shouted, You are the only thing that keeps me breathing. His voice cracked, eyes burning with rage and desperation. Amara's tears fell freely, her heart torn between love and survival. She whispered, "Then why does it feel like drowning?" Marcus's steps faltered, his body trembling as if stripped of armor. "Because love was never supposed to save me," he whispered, voice raw. "But somehow you're the only thing that can." Amara's lips parted, trembling, her silence louder than her screams. The storm outside crashed as if echoing their collapse, two broken souls colliding at their breaking point. The storm outside quieted into rain, but inside the penthouse the silence was heavier. Amara sat on the edge of the sofa, her hands trembling in her lap. She whispered, "I can't keep drowning in your battles." Marcus stood by the glass, shoulders rigid, his reflection fractured by raindrops. His voice was low, strained. "If you walk away now, you'll be safe. But I'll lose the only reason I've fought this long." Her chest tightened, torn between freedom and the chain of his words. She rose slowly, her voice quivering. "Safety doesn't heal scars, Marcus. It only hides them." His jaw clenched, pain flickering in his eyes. The room pulsed with unspoken choices. Amara walked closer, each step deliberate, her heels echoing softly. "You've carried this war alone too long." Marcus turned, his face a storm of regret and defiance. "Alone is the only way I survive." Her eyes welled with tears as she whispered, "No, Marcus. Alone is how you die." He froze, her words cutting through years of silence. His chest rose sharply, as if she had struck him. Amara reached out, fingers trembling, brushing his arm. He didn't pull away. For the first time his voice cracked. "What if you see everything ugly in me and walk away?" She whispered back steady, "Then at least you'll know someone saw you." Marcus's defenses crumbled as he lowered his gaze, whispering, "You're not meant to carry my sins." Amara held his stare, voice steady but raw. "I carry my own scars. Maybe they're meant to meet yours." His eyes softened for the first time, the weight of his pride melting. He stepped back, shaking his head. "You don't know what you're offering." She closed the distance, her hand pressing against his chest, feeling the thunder of his heartbeat. "I'm offering myself. Not as your weakness, as your equal." Marcus exhaled, a sound between pain and release. For a fleeting second, the storm between them felt like it could finally break into peace. But reality struck harder than hope. Marcus stepped back, breaking the fragile connection. His voice turned cold, though his eyes betrayed him. "If you stay, you'll become a target. My brother won't stop." Amara's lips trembled, her voice sharp with anger. "And if I leave, I'll still carry you in my veins. There's no safety in absence." Marcus's hand balled into a fist, veins rising. He whispered, almost pleading, "Don't choose me if it means losing yourself." Amara shook her head, fire and sorrow mixed in her eyes. "Maybe losing myself is the only way I'll find who I really am." The rain softened to a drizzle, leaving the city washed in silver light. Amara stood by the door, her hand on the handle. Her voice was quiet, but firm. "If this is where we end, let it be because I chose dignity, not fear." Marcus's voice broke behind her. "You're the only dignity I have left." Her throat closed as tears blurred her vision. She didn't turn but whispered, "Then hold on to it, Marcus. With or without me." The door creaked open, cool air rushing in. The silence that followed was unbearable, a wound carved deep. Whether she stayed or left, both of them knew the storm had changed them forever. The city was quiet, washed silver by the fading storm. Amara stood in the doorway, the chill night brushing her skin. Marcus's voice cracked behind her. "Don't go." She closed her eyes, tears slipping free. "If I stay, I lose myself." He stepped forward, his shadow stretching across the floor, heavy with everything unsaid. "If you go, I lose everything," he whispered. Her heart pounded, the weight of choice pressing like chains. Amara turned her head slightly, not enough to see him, only enough to breathe his presence. Her voice shook as she whispered, Maybe that's the only way we both survive. Silence swallowed them whole. Amara stepped into the hallway, the soft thud of her heels echoing. Each step felt like tearing flesh from bone. Marcus remained rooted, unable to follow, his fists trembling at his sides. He whispered her name, Amara. But it was swallowed by the silence. She pressed her back against the cool wall outside, sliding down slowly as sobs broke free. Inside, Marcus collapsed into the chair by the window, the city below blurring into meaningless lights. Both hearts broke in different rooms, tethered by pain neither could sever. The world felt too quiet, too cruel, for what had just shattered. Morning crept in cruelly, painting the city gold. Amara sat by her window at home, untouched coffee cooling on the table. Her reflection stared back, eyes hollow. She whispered, I walked away. But the echo of Marcus's voice haunted her still. Across town, Marcus stood on his balcony, suit jacket loose, whiskey glass in hand. His gaze was fixed on nothing, jaw clenched, shadows beneath his eyes. He whispered into the wind, she was mine, and I let her go. Two broken souls breathed the same morning air, miles apart, but bound in silence deeper than words. Days blurred into nights. Amara walked through the office, her steps heavier, her smile forced. Colleagues whispered, but she ignored them, burying her storm behind professionalism. In his office, Marcus was colder, sharper, every command delivered like a blade. His staff noticed the shift but never spoke. When their eyes met across the hallway, time froze, 1,000 unspoken words hanging in the air. Neither dared to move closer. Neither dared to look away. The distance between them was unbearable, yet safer than the fire they once shared. The night was still when Amara whispered into the darkness of her apartment, I'll never forget him. Across the city, Marcus stood alone in his penthouse, staring at the skyline, whispering, I'll never forgive myself. Their voices, though separate, echoed like one truth. Love had come like fire and left them in ashes. The silence that followed was the final wound, eternal and unhealed. In the quiet, Amara closed her eyes, a tear sliding down her cheek, while Marcus clenched his fists, broken yet unbowed. The story ended not with victory, not with peace, but with scars carved into their souls.